In today's video, I'm going to show you how to diagnose and solve your Electrolux washing machine not filling with water, and it could be showing you the E11 error code when this is happening. The main tools you're going to need are a Phillips head screwdriver, needle nose pliers, and a multimeter for replacing parts if needed. This is the first and most simple thing, and that's just to turn the water off of your washing machine and confirm you get water pressure at the faucet by removing the water hoses from the machine. Do both hot and cold valves work from the wall? If not, you're going to need to replace those, and I am not a plumber, I'm an appliance guy. Next, inspect the area the washer hoses fit onto the valves. Unscrew them. Do you notice any buildup of gunk, rust, or anything else with the exposed valves? Do the valve filters look clean? These small screens can be removed with needle nose pliers and you can inspect them. If they are clogged, that could prevent water from entering them, and these can be replaced on most machines or cleaned. If this is fine, go ahead and ensure that the water hoses are reinstalled, the water valves to the washing machine are on, and you can properly turn on and run the machine. Let's put the machine into diagnostic test mode and see if we can force the valves to operate at all. I have a longer video on how to do diagnostics, but in short, make sure the unit is plugged in with the power off, press the power button to boot it up, rotate the dial or press the cycle selector mode, switch to the normal wash mode. Press the start button to begin the mode even if the valves don't work. The door should lock and let it run for a few moments. Then after about 10 seconds, go ahead and cancel the mode out and turn the unit off. Wait a few seconds, then press the on button. The first mode should start now to normal, and once it's at normal, press and hold the temperature button along with the option select deselect button. Hold on them for 3 seconds, and you need to do this within 10 seconds of it powering on the normal mode. The lights should then blink like you see right here when we did this. Rotate the dial to any mode number 1 through number 6. All of these modes should begin to force the valves open and fill the unit with water, bypassing any issues. You should hear water flow in if water can actually make it in the tub. Modes 1 through 6 are going to have different valves open, and here's the chart for these functions. You should be able to get water through these various modes. Some versions of the Electrolux washers may not have all the valve modes, but they should have at least some of these. The key here is hearing water, but also looking at the dial on the washer that it's increasing in number. As the unit fills up with water, the number on the dial should be increasing upwards, indicating that your pressure sensor is working. If the number is not going up, there is a problem with the pressure sensor and that needs replaced or looked at. I'll show you how to replace it soon, as it's very easy to do. Allow the water to fill up until it shuts off. It should do this automatically, and it should shut off when the number gets to 140 to 145. If it fails to get up to 140 and errors out, watch the video where I list all the error codes. It could be a weird code, but in my experience, if it doesn't get up to 140 and it errors out, the pressure hose is damaged, the pressure sensor is damaged, or there's something like suds inside the hose from a D5 error that's preventing proper calculation of the water level, triggering possibly the E11 or another code. If you've solved this part of the diagnostics, great. You can use test 11 to run the drain pump and pull all the water out. Afterwards, you can set it to test 13, which would show any error codes to look at, and you can just power down the unit and you're good to go. Now, if the valve didn't fill up with water or you know it's the pressure sensor, let's go ahead and get to both units and replace them or inspect them further. To do this, unplug the washing machine and remove the hoses from the washer as needed. When this is done, move the unit to an area that you can access the rear of the machine. Next, there are 2 Phillips screws on the back of the unit like you see here. Once you have both of these removed with a Phillips head screwdriver, pull the panel rearward to remove it. With the top uncovered, you can see the valves at the rear, and then the pressure sensor is in the front left corner if you're viewing it from behind. Then you also have the tech sheet here with error codes and diagnostics if you needed more info on that. If the pressure sensor was bad or you need to look at the hose, rotate the pressure sensor 1/4 of a turn, then remove it. You can unplug the wire harness, and there is a clip on the hose that can be pressed in and pulled away to remove the sensor from the hose. If you needed to replace the sensor, I will have a link here as we carry the affordable third-party version from ERP. If you had to put a new pressure sensor in, simply reinstall the hose and clip and put it into place. And when it comes to putting the sensor in, just simply press it and it'll automatically clip, or you could rotate it a 1/4 turn like you took it out. It's your choice. For the hose itself, it's going to go down the side of the washing machine to the sump area like you see here. In order to access this from behind, you'd have to pull off the back plate of the unit, that's 6 screws, and you may want to unplug it and pressure test it. Vinegar would help you remove suds if you're worried that there are suds in the hose that could cause foam that would prevent the sensor from working right. And that would be all the tricks I would have for the pressure sensor. Next, here's how to take the valve off for inspection or most likely replacement. You need to remove 4 Phillips head screws that are located on the vibrational damper at the rear of the unit. Once you have these 4 screws removed, you need to lift the damper up and out. It's a little bit heavy, but you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Next, loosen and remove the 2 Phillips screws at the top of the dispensers, bracing like you see here. One needs removed fully on the right. The left one can be loosened. You see a slot here. It may allow you to slide the assembly forward slightly, giving you a little bit of extra room to navigate the valves. Next, make sure to remove any of the wire harnesses from the valves. Depending on your revision, there could be 1 or 2 sets of harnesses here. To remove the valves, there are 3 screws that you need to take out. One on the left, one on the right, and one underneath the assembly that you cannot see from the top. This screw is critical to remove, and it's also delicate in that you don't want to drop it and have it fall on the tub. So when you remove the 3rd screw, cradle your hand underneath to catch it and ensure the screwdriver is magnetized for your best chance of success. Here's the view of the screw locations with the dispenser totally removed and the valves exposed. You could remove the dispenser to do this if you wanted to, but doing it this way is a lot quicker. With the 3 screws out, you can take a flat head screwdriver, putty knife, or other edged item that is kind of blunt at the tip and pry the valve away from the dispenser. Depending on a few factors, there are going to be rubber grommets on each of the valves that will either remain in the dispenser or lift off of the valve that you will need to replace on the new valve. It's critical that they're seated correctly back into the valve or the housing so it doesn't leak when you reinstall everything. Then simply take the new replacement valve and reinstall it to the rear of the dispenser. The rubber grommets will help hold it in place while you install the screws. I would not install the 2 side screws tightly to start with. I would install those lightly, then install the bottom one fully, then finish tightening the side screws down. Then go ahead and reinstall the damper system along with the 2 dispenser screws. Then the wire harnesses, and you're essentially done replacing the valve if that was the issue. You should have a totally working washer now. The valves tend to be the issue in most situations, well, except maybe not. In some very rare cases, it's not the valves or the pressure sensor assembly, it's the control board that is failing. In this case, here's what you could try to do before you buy a new control board. With the unit installed with water and electricity but the top off, go back to the diagnostic mode that we used at the very beginning of the video. Take a multimeter and set it to voltage AC. You'll see at the tips of each of the probes, I have a set of what's called back probes. I bought them from Harbor Freight, but there may be multiple places you can buy these very thin leads. From here, locate the white neutral wire that comes in from the power plug at the wall that plugs into the board. It's white and it's located here at J1-2. Install 1 probe to this wire, then rotate the dial knob at the front of the unit from any of the diagnostic modes, number 1 through number 8, like we were trying to force the valves on. Use the other probe of your multimeter and tap it onto the wire harness set that goes to the valves like you see here. Going from J1-2 to any of the top exposed area of the valve harness should get you 120 volts AC. You may need to rotate the dial through number 1 through 6 as it will change which segments of the valve are triggered, but it will allow you to force voltage through to try to see if the valves get 120 volts AC at all. If you don't get 120 volts on any of these areas in the various settings, the board is cooked and it needs replaced. I will have a video soon on how to do that, but it's pretty straightforward and easy to do from this point of the video, and I just wanted to show you how to understand on how to do that. I am going to be putting out a lot more videos on this style Electrolux unit, but I hope this helps you solve for the issue of no water on your Electrolux washing machine. Have a great day.